Hello, and welcome to Bird's Broadcast. Tonight, we have a special announcement to make. Due to the increase in production, we've brought on an intern. Come and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Amber. Super happy to be here. I'm currently...
Right, okay, thank you, Amber. Not sure what to expect with an unpaid intern.
Wait, I'm not getting paid?
But we will soon be getting them on the ground for some reporting. But now for our stories for the night. First we have The Pimples on My Boyfriend's Back, Part 1. Written by Wearing Human Skin. Followed by I'm a Police Officer and I Saw a Monster. Written by AayushBassan. Please like and subscribe. And as always, the links are in the description. My boyfriend James and I were both freshening up one morning in the bathroom when I first saw them. He leaned over the sink while brushing his teeth. His shirtless exposed back was dotted with a patch of pimples. There were raised, pearly bumps that were a sickly shade of brownish yellow. It was strange that he was developing pimples. After all, at 25 years of age, James shouldn't have had any trouble with them anymore. They're supposed to be a forgotten relic of puberty. I playfully tapped him on his back and asked if I could pop at least one. His reaction caught me off guard. I remember how he swiftly arched his back downwards away from my touch, then looked at me with a deranged look before hissing the next words at me with bared teeth. Don't touch them. That was the last time I ever bothered him with the issue. The way he aggressively told me off hinted to me that the plague of pimples that adorned his back wasn't my issue and I needed to mind my own business. I assumed he was insecure about me seeing them because he might have felt self-conscious. So I respected his wish. For the next month, he constantly wore a shirt to the bathroom to hide the pimples. If he ever showered and got naked, he'd lock the bathroom door and didn't let me in. He'd stopped being intimate with me, and I assumed it was because he needed to take off his clothes and shirt. His secretive behavior continued for 3 more weeks. He tried hard to hide them, but I could still see the faint, rounded outlines of the pimples underneath his shirt. I could clearly detect from the increasingly bulging, swollen bumps that they had been growing over the weeks. I remember one night I had woken up in bed and found James lying beside with his back to me. Curiosity got the better of me and I decided to inspect the pimples. I tentatively peeled off his shirt and gazed at them. I know it might sound crazy to describe what I saw next. I'm not sure if I was just seeing things from being half asleep or the bedroom light being dim, but I swear I caught sight of the pimples faintly wriggling and moving around. Before I got a better look, James abruptly shifted sleeping positions and slept on his back. Over the next few days, they continued to grow rapidly. Soon, they were bulging quite conspicuously. James had started wearing heavy coats or jackets to work to hide them, though it was midsummer. I'd noticed something else too. Compared to last month, his face had become more gaunt and bony, cheeks hollow, limbs losing muscle mass. It's as if he was getting thinner the more the pimples grew. I didn't know what was happening to him, but it's as if those things on his back were eating him alive to grow. I know James had asked me not to interfere, but I couldn't do nothing anymore and watch his health deteriorate from those things. So one day I called the doctor and tried to book an appointment for the removal of his pimples. James must have overheard the conversation because in the middle of the call he barged into the bedroom and grabbed my phone before throwing it across the room, where it smashed into the wall and flew apart in hundreds of pieces. I was in cold shock, frozen on the spot as I stared at the spot where he threw it. Before my eyes fluttered back to him when he started screaming at me. The words hurled at me were so chaotic that I only remember snippets of what was said. It was something along the lines of me being a traitor who threatened to take away the one thing that was going to make him happy. I wondered if he was talking about me taking away the pimples, as if they were precious to him. He said something else unsettling, and I remember every single word. They're my babies, and I won't let you steal them away from me. I didn't have time to digest what he meant by that statement before he was pushing me towards the living room door. He returned into the bedroom to get my handbag and threw it at my feet. As he opened the front door that led outside his apartment door, I realized he was kicking me out. Before he did, he explained the reason was because I was apparently interfering in his private business and that he'd invite me back when he was ready. Then he shoved me out the door and locked it behind me. After a few minutes of banging on the door and shouting at him to let me in without response, I gave up and simply walked away. That ordeal was 2 weeks ago. I'd booked myself into a cheap hotel until I could arrange myself a better place to stay. I didn't see myself getting back together with James with the state he was in. I'd managed to buy myself a replacement phone that was relatively cheap. It performed basic functions like texting and calling. This all brings us to today. I received 2 messages from an unknown number. When I read the messages, I realized who they were from, though I wasn't sure how he'd gotten my new number. The first one read, "You can come back home now, the pimples are clear." The second, much worse one read, "My babies have finally hatched from their eggs, and they want their mummy to come home." Well, dear listeners, that took an odd turn. Reminds me of an old proverb. When your boyfriend's back knee starts to grow, it's probably time to go. Though enough about that. We have a special sponsor for today, and just in time to help you struggling mages.
Hello, my fellow practitioners of the arcane arts. As we move into 2021, have you found the lingering effects of 2020 disrupting your magical performance? Is your wand no longer the hard shaft of arcane excellence it used to be? Perhaps your wand is acting like a soft European silver fir, and not that nice, robust, and stiff mahogany hardwood it once was. Well, fear not, for we at Stupendously Stiffs know just the tricks to turn your limp branch back into the mighty mast of magical mayhem it once was. Don't let your wand give you the shaft. Come on down to Stupendously Stiffs, where we give your wand a hard time so you don't have to.
What good news moving into 2021. I do hope you all will take advantage of them. It's now time for our second story of the evening. I'm a police officer, and I saw a monster. June 19th, 2019, 1:27 p.m. "I'm sorry for your loss," I said. "I will be needing your cooperation, ma'am. Let's start from the beginning." "How did he look like?" I asked, taking out my small book. "It was long, tall, and black. The thing had claws for hands." She emphasized the word "it." "Ma'am, please do not joke around. This is a serious case. Please give us a clear description of the man or woman who killed your son," I said in a strict voice. "You think I'm joking?" I exited the scene and went back to the station. "She's crazy," I said to Mike. "What did she say?" "She said that a monster killed her son." "Do you have any other leads?" I asked Mike. "Not right now, but we've sent a guy to gather prints and stuff." "Okay, tell me when we get any leads. I'm going home." "Okay, Frank," Mike said to me. My car needed servicing, so I took a taxi and rode it home. "Should have bought a better car," I whispered to myself. I got home, took a shower, and ate some cup of noodles. I went to my bed and woke up to a call from Mike. June 19th, 2019, 7:20 p.m. "We have some sort of lead. I'm coming to pick you up." I got up and stumbled to Mike's car, half asleep. Now in his car I asked him about the lead. "These prints are the mother's." "Fucking knew it," I said. "Take us to the station first." After arriving at the station, I grabbed my equipment and told Mike to drive me to the mechanic. I got my car back and drove to the woman's house, whereas Mike went back to the station to get paperwork done. I arrived at her home and knocked on the front door. No response. I knocked again. No response. I knocked again. After 5 minutes, I busted the door down. With my gun holstered, I entered the house, searched the living room, the upstairs, everything. No one here. I called Mike and told him the situation. After the call, I searched and found some stairs that led to a basement. I entered said basement and looked around. There I found his dead body. I had to call this in. I rushed back upstairs and called Mike. "Pick up, pick up, pick up," I said. "Hello? Mike? You have to come now." "What? What's happening?" "Just come now." Okay. I looked back at the basement and there it was, the thing that the mother described. Long, tall, and black with claws for hands. Exactly like she described it. "What the?" It fucking charged at me. I ran upstairs, took cover under the bed. What's happening? Am I in a dream? What is that? So many questions raced through my mind, but I didn't have any answers. After 5 minutes, which felt like 5 hours, I heard a car pull up. I had to take my chances. I got up and ran downstairs, and in a police car I saw Mike. Mike, you're here! I explained the situation to him and the thing I saw. He didn't believe me. I knew he wouldn't. He told me to go home and get some sleep, and I did that. It was hard to sleep and forget it. Its eyes, its tall body, his lifeless face. June 20th, 2019, 3:20 p.m. I've taken leave for some days. June 26th, 2019, 2:55 p.m. I got a call from Mike, and this is how the call went. Hey, Frank. Hey, Mike. Frank, I don't know how to say this, but you're getting arrested. What? Why? We found your prints on the scene. Yeah, obviously, I went to investigate. No. We found your prints on both of the bodies. What? Both? Yeah, they're in the basement. Your court date's the day after tomorrow. I'm sorry, Frank. I approached the judge and requested if I could keep my diary, and he said yes. So I guess I can write in my diary still. The prison isn't that bad. I know it's after me. I saw it in the corner of my eye yesterday night, and I heard it in the vents. If this is my last entry, know that I am dead, and I was falsely accused of a crime I didn't commit. Every day I'm here, I remember those words. You think I'm joking?
Six, 9, 4, 2, 0.